Hi, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Love All. We have an interview today. Blair, I love talking to just you, but I also love having a guest on as well. And I'm excited that we have another great player on today's podcast that we can talk to and pick her tennis brain.
I am so excited, and I feel like you're burying the lead here, Kim. It is Mary Pierce. I'm going to give her a proper intro, as we often do, but I think you all are going to like the conversation as well because she just has so many layers.
So many layers. And I think, just to be able to, like, for me, it was very special to be able to play against her. And when I won my first Grand Slam at the US Open in 2005, it was, just to be able to get to pick her brain about it and just to, get a feel for what she was thinking and feeling at that stage of her career. And she's just a great champion and an even greater person. So I'm excited to have the chance today.
So we are going to talk to Mary. And then after that, I was just in Cincinnati last week. So we're going to debrief. I'm going to pull out my notebook from Cincy and talk about some of the players that I spoke to. We're going to talk about Novak Djokovic. We're going to talk about Venus and Serena doubles, maybe even a little race for the world #1 ranking on the WTA side. But first, as promised, she's been ranked as high as number 3 in the world in both singles and doubles and owns 18 career singles titles. In 1995, she earned her first major crown at the Australian Open, and then 5 years later captured the singles and doubles titles at her home slam at Roland Garros. She was also a US Open finalist in 2005, and in 2019, she was inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. So we'll be joined by Mary Pierce when we come back.
Hi, everyone. We are here with Mary Pierce, a player who I have loved watching when I was younger and had the opportunity to play against as well in my career, which was one of the highlights for me. So, Mary, thank you so much for joining us on Love All. I'm super, super excited that you're here with us.
Oh, thank you, Kim. That's so sweet of you to say. It's awesome to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And that was really sweet of you to say it. It's kind of funny when I hear you say you watched me and then played me. So yeah, I can understand that because that happened with me with some other players too. So that's cool.
Yeah, definitely in my junior years, right? When you won in 95. And that was like when I was at the start of my kind of under 14 junior career and just absolutely loved watching you win the Australian Open and admired a lot of things. And I'll talk about that in a second because I have a lot of things that I want to ask you.
Yeah, and I remember when you came on tour too. So I was like, that's...
Hi, Mary. If you wouldn't mind maybe just starting us off, giving us an update on where you are, how you are, what you're doing.
Yeah, awesome question. Thanks for asking. So I'm in Florida. I moved back here about 4 or 5 years ago. I was living in the south of France before that. So I've spent most of my life, as you know, between France and America. I live both countries, so I'm in Florida right now. So I'm still serving on the board of directors as the female player representative of World Tennis, previously known as the ITF. We've rebranded now. And I just love being the female voice on the board, bringing all the issues that, for girls in junior tennis, for women in pro tennis. I've been doing that now for 11 years. Next year in October, we'll reach my full term. I will have served 3 terms of 4 years. I'm also currently the chair of the Billie Jean King Cup Committee. I'm on the Olympic Committee. I chair the Women's Player Panel, co-chair the Athletes Commission with Mark Woodford, who's the male player representative on the board. And I'm also on the IOC, Olympic Education Commission, and sports chaplaincy as well, which is something that I got to do at the Paris Olympics in 2024. I was an accredited sports chaplain in the Athletes Olympic Village at the Multi-Faith Center. So that was like a dream come true for me, like a non-tennis dream. And it was a really amazing experience. So I'm really grateful for all the really wonderful things that I've got to do that are very different as well in many different realms.
But I think with the things that you mentioned, a lot of the things that it sounds like to me is giving back to the sport, right? Is sharing your experiences, what like sticks out in all of those things. And it's really nice to hear that you give your time and your experience to them. So very, very, that's really great.
Yeah, well observed, Kim. And it's true. And it's, as you just said that, the word served came into my mind, and it's like, yeah, in tennis, we hit a serve. But then now my life, I feel, is service, and it's what brings me like the most joy and fulfillment.
I love that. That's very on brand too, as we are a part of Served Media. So
Oh,
I
okay.
feel
Well,
like
there you go.
Serves, that could be a really fun initiative.
There you go. You're welcome, Andy.
Amazing. Is there something before we move on from that side of your life, Mary, that you mentioned the sports chaplaincy at the Olympics, but is there anything else that you are maybe most proud of during the post-career time?
Uh, yes. And it's things that I didn't really speak a lot about. So it kind of makes me emotional. That's really interesting. I didn't expect that. Um, yeah, just the humanitarian side and the missionary work that I got to do for many years in Africa after my career. So um, I wanted to do Bible school for many years when I was on the tour, and I wasn't able to because I was always traveling. So I was able to do that afterwards, which was awesome, and I loved it. And I just really had a heart, for Africa at that time and wanted to do things. So I was able to go to several countries and do a lot of things for elderly people or children, orphans, health. There's an organization that I helped as well that helps mothers and to prevent baby dumping, because that's unfortunately is a thing in Africa. And yeah, just all the different things that I was able to do there, and was just really so special because it just makes you so grateful for what we have, and we just forget. And it's just so easy because our lives are so busy and so full. And when you go to certain places and certain things, and like, how many pairs of shoes do we have? And then, you go somewhere where someone actually doesn't even have a pair. And we would never think about that. And it doesn't cross our mind, but it's actually unfortunately true. And even still today. So just to be able to, make a difference, have an impact, and do whatever I can do. I think, you want to serve save all the world's problems, but you can't. You can only just do your part. And I think that that's, yeah, just a really beautiful thing. And I think that's something that I'm the most proud of, actually.
Love that.
Man, I have chills over here.
Yes, me too.
Thank you. More coming in my book. That's my next project that I'm working on.
Good. Are you working on a book or?
Yes. It's going to be like a memoir, and it's going to be, my life story, which encompasses a lot of things, as we've just heard a few of them now. But my story is very public. Growing up and playing tennis, and with my dad, who was my coach, who was very abusive, and then parents divorcing, separating, continuing to play tennis. And then, becoming a Christian, reconciling, forgiving my dad, having a beautiful relationship with him before he passed away, and just continuing on to do other things. And so there's going to be, I'm really looking forward to it, because anytime I have this opportunities just to share a little bit of my story, I have so many people over the years who are like, oh my gosh, have you written a book? Oh, you should write a book. And so for many years, I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, I'm not going to write a book just to write a book. But I want, as everything in my heart that I feel that I do, I want it to have a purpose and be meaningful and have an impact, that everything I do would be touching hearts and changing lives for the better. And so now I feel is the time to do that. And I just hope and pray that if my book can just maybe help one person, then I'm super happy and super grateful. And, everything that I've been through in my life, it can be, if it can be inspirational or motivational or bring hope or, something positive to someone's life, then I'm super happy.
Without a doubt, it will, Mary.
Thanks, Kim.
Without a doubt. And how far along are you in the process? Like, is there already like a timeline or?
So it's in the beginning process.
Okay.
In the beginning process, doing my due diligence and really just learning about it, how to go about it, in the process. There's so many different ways you can do it, and so just really seeing which is going to be the best route for me to do that. And then, I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
It's got to be a little scary too, in a way, like that I don't know, Maybe that's what I feel, because in the past people have asked me to like write books, and I was
Yeah.
always like, I
I'd
don't
love
know,
to know your story.
it's my story, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I totally understand how you feel because I felt like that for a while because I think there's certain things that you go through in life and you're like, gosh, I don't want anybody to know that, you know? And now I think, wow, what I went through, um, yeah, it was horrible and it was terrible. And I wish I never went through it and I wouldn't want anybody to go through it as far as, my dad being my coach for those years, how difficult it was. But I think that, and what I believe, yeah, is that God can use my pain for my purpose. And I know that there are so many people that go through so many difficult things, and how people have helped me, and through what they've gone through in their life. And so that's just what I feel called to do. And so it'll be interesting as the process goes to just see how it goes during the writing process and that journey.
Mm,
And I feel that it's going to be exciting, fun, difficult, challenging, and probably even more a blessing for me more than anything, just doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever need a place like to be secluded from everything, I have this farm in Vermont.
Okay.
Like
Perfect.
you can go and write, and like
That's
I can
amazing.
come visit you or not,
I love it.
whatever.
I love it. Yeah, I would
um,
love that. Thank you. I love it. Yeah.
Also, if you go to Vermont, I would love to come and hang. I'll just sit
Yeah.
in the spare room.
Let's do it.
I
I
won't
would love
distract
that.
you, but I also want to see Kim's farm in Vermont. But
Yeah.
on that topic of your tennis and your coaching and working with your dad and later working with your brother, when you were going through that time with your father and being in that abusive relationship, how did you keep your love for tennis and go on to be as successful as you were? Because I think there are so many people who would have shut down and would have never had the success that you ended up having.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So originally, I wanted to be a pediatrician, and I think I was around 7 years old when I was like, I want to be a pediatrician one day because I loved my pediatrician. I thought he was just the most amazing, kindest person. And so, I just started playing tennis one day from a friend in school, and I was able to do it really well from like day one. And I just kind of did what I was told. My parents were like, "You're just going to play tennis now after school." And I'm like, "Okay." So I just did what my parents told me to do. And a few years later, you're going to play professional. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was scared. It was really scary because I had to win for everything to be okay. And as you know, nobody has ever won every single match. So it was really hard. And so it was just really fear-based, I would say, in the beginning, until I was 18, because I just felt like I couldn't say no, and that's what I just had to do. And I just had to do it the best that I possibly could to win. And even sometimes when I won and I didn't play good, it was still not enough. So it was like, you got to play great, you got to win 0-0, and you got to win. It was really, 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 really hard to say the least. So then at 18 is kind of like when I took a break and I was like, okay, I can do whatever I want now. And I can go study, I could get a job, I could keep playing tennis. So I took some time off really just to see what I wanted to do. And I stayed with a friend. And um, 3 months later, my friend said, and I was in Florida staying with her at the time, and she's like, maybe you should call Nick Bollettieri and see if he wants to coach you. And at the time, Nick was, coaching all the greatest players. And I was like, okay, do you think he'll coach me? And so, anyways, I asked Nick, and he said yes. And I started working with him. And I just felt like I should just keep playing tennis. And it wasn't until I was 25 years old, so like 7 years later, I guess, when I became a Christian, is that I realized that that was God's plan for me all along, was to play tennis. And then he's the one who gave me that gift because I could play since basically day one, like serving and playing points, which is unheard of. And so at that moment on, I just really wanted to do my best for him. And it really changed everything about tennis for me. And I just loved it so much more. I think loved it then wholeheartedly because I did enjoy from like 18 to 25. I mean, I had amazing results too. I enjoyed it, and I think I enjoyed the hard work. I enjoyed the physical part of it, the competition, the traveling. There's a lot of things that I enjoyed about it, but it wasn't until then when I was 25 that I really loved it with all of my heart and realized and knew why I was doing it, and I was created to do that.
What was it like for you, Mary, when you went from being coached by your dad to then, taking a break from that and stepping away from it to then being coached by Nick, right? Like one of the greatest coaches that, in our sport. What was that like? Like, were you like, oh, surprised by a lot of things, or were you just like fully invested and just went along with it all?
Yeah, it was awesome. Just because, my dad never played tennis. He still wasn't able to ever like do a rally with me. He'd like feed me balls or hand toss balls, or he'd like serve from the service line. But, so it was awesome to have like what I felt was like a real professional tennis coach. And there were a few times when my dad allowed me to work with a couple coaches along the way that, he allowed me to work with. But just to, yeah, just have like a whole professional team around me with like, a fitness coach, because my dad made me do everything with the fitness. He told me what to do fitness wise, and we did everything like Rocky style.
Yeah.
Um, so it was great. Like I loved it. And just to feel not that pressure and not that stress and not that fear of like what's going to happen if I lose kind of thing. So that was kind of actually really nice. In a way, it felt like I don't know why, but like that image of like get out of jail card free. I just felt so free. And it was just a really, really nice thing. And Nick was just amazing. How much he loved tennis and he loved what he did and he was passionate about it and how he was just able to get the best out of everybody that he worked with, no matter who you were, male or female, pro or junior. And you just really felt that he cared like genuinely with all of his heart, and he wanted the best for you. So he kind of became a little bit of role of like a second dad for me as well in that time as my coach, and just yeah, had a big part in my life and in my tennis career for sure.
Did he travel with you a lot too, to your tournaments and to the slams, or was it somebody from the academy then that would go travel with you?
Yeah, so Nick would travel to the Grand Slams.
Okay.
And then I had another coach that we hired that was my traveling coach. So that coach basically worked with me every day and would go to all the tournaments with me.
Okay.
And then Nick would just come to the Grand Slams.
All right.
And then years later, he was introducing you and you were inducted into the Hall of Fame, which was so special.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I was so, so happy. I was so happy. Like when it was, when I knew I was going to be inducted that year, and I was just like, who was going to introduce me? And for me, it was for sure, it was Nick, just the role that he's had in my life. And when my father passed away, he came to my father's celebration of life service. And he, at one moment, we opened it up to people who ever wanted to share a story or speak or something. And he went up there and he said some really wonderful things about my dad, and was just really special. So having Nick there introduce me when I was inducted in 2019 was just amazing and so special. And I'm grateful that he was able to do it.
That's really neat. I feel like we could be here for 3 hours.
Yes.
However,
I know, I was just thinking that too. I was like, wow, this is so much fun.
Producer Ella is like, no, please no, guys, stick to your time. But because we do not sadly have 3 hours, Mary, I would love to maybe shift to some of your amazing on-court results. Of course, getting your first slam in at the Australian Open in 1995, yes. Then the amazing success you had in 2000. But I'd like to start with one of your later results, your final at the U.S. Open with none other than Kim
Clijsters. I knew you were
Clijsters.
going to bring that up. I was like, how could we not talk about this, right? With Kim and I here together.
I am just going to let you two take it away. Can you tell me what you both remember about that match?
Who goes first?
I'll go first. What I remember is I felt so honored that I got to play against you.
Oh my gosh.
But I had to make a shift in my head to not be distracted from playing you, like playing Mary Pierce.
No way.
Yeah, so like I had to like really, yeah, just be like, okay, just use it like any other match. Don't get distracted. Like, because I also came from like having lost my like previous 4 Grand Slam finals, and I didn't want to lose my thought on, playing you.
You're
and
welcome.
like,
No, I'm just kidding.
thank you, Mary. No, but like, and then you start thinking about like, there's players that I watched, and I watched matches of yours, and like, and even now, like knowing that we were going to talk to you, I was like, what stuck with me the most that I learned from you, or that I tried to take away from watching your games, was your demeanor. Like with you, you couldn't tell whether you were winning or losing.
Oh, wow.
And
Awesome. I love
to
that.
me,
Thank
yeah,
you.
and I loved seeing that from you. Like you were so, yeah, just even keel, and yeah, again, like that's something that I think I had to learn with my emotions, kind of to control them a little bit. And I remember like watching your games at the French Open, and being either in the living room with my dad or with Carl, my coach at the time, and like just the referring to you, like, and showing points of when you lost a point or when you got broken, and being like,
Oh, wow.
you see, like you don't see it. She's walking back to her bench, and you don't see a
Yeah.
difference. And
Oh, wow.
so yeah, so it's funny, like to get reminded of some of those memories. And so I felt really honored to play against you, but then I also didn't want to go too far ahead in those kind of feelings, because I think that's what kind of hurt me in the past, to win my first slam.
Do you think that match went the way that you imagined it, or how did you feel like this is my opportunity to know? Like, how did you feel during that match? Were you like, were you surprised, or was this going exactly how you thought it was with like your game plan and your strategy? Did you go in with something like pretty clear and you felt like you were able to implement it and it went like all perfectly that day? Or how were you
Yes.
like thinking or feeling?
So the most important thing for me that I learned from those previous 4 finals that I lost was that I could never stay in the moment. It was either, oh, I'm so close to winning my first slam. What if I do? What if I, and then when I was playing Justine, I was like, oh, like there were times where I didn't believe I could beat her. And so I was never in the moment. And I feel like when I played you, that in that 5th Grand Slam final, for me, I felt like that was the first time where I was able to just really stay in the moment, no matter what the score was, no matter how good of a shot you hit, or how, if I made mistakes, like I wouldn't get it to get to my head. And I think that was the biggest step that I took in that match against you, was that I just stayed in the moment and really just learned how to be like in that full focus and not be distracted by who you were and what I liked about you, or being in the US Open final, or being 1 match away from winning my first slam. Like it was the first time that I could really, yeah, compartmentalize, like just playing point per point, like they always tell you to do, but it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, that's really interesting, and I'm sure that's very helpful for people that are going to be listening to this. That's really cool. Yeah, I think for me, um, I was obviously, really looking forward to that final, and coming in and playing against you. I feel like with my brother, who was my coach at the time and who we've had, great results with, I won Roland Garros with him and did so many great things. I feel like I went in with a certain kind of like game plan, and I knew it was going to be a tough match because like
What was the game plan?
it was just to be aggressive and hitting behind you because you move so well. And, just like even when you would like slide on the hard court, I would always get scared every time. I was like, oh my gosh, hope she doesn't hurt herself. But yeah, I just knew like you were just so fast and so consistent, and you just, defended really well, brought a lot of balls back. So for me, it was going to be difficult to like finish the points because my style was more like being aggressive, finishing the points, not waiting for my opponent to miss, but to, try to hit the winners. So I knew I needed to be patient and build my point and be aggressive. However, I went into the match and it seemed like my game plan wasn't working. And I was like, wait a minute, Kim is playing completely different than how I expected. And now what do I do? And then so I think I was just trying to figure out, like in that match, what to do, like how to beat you. And I just feel like you just played amazing. Yeah, so you won.
Yeah.
I just felt like you just played so well that day, and like what I planned to do didn't work and what I was trying to do didn't work, and then I was like, of course, when you lose a Grand Slam final, as you know, and I know I had lost others as well, you're always disappointed because you're so close. You're just like that one
Mm.
match, and how many other finals that I made in other slams and that I lost them. But um, so that was a really disappointing loss. I think my brother was also I've never seen him really he never really got mad or anything like that, but I think he was pretty disappointed because I think he was really hoping and thinking that, I could win that match. But I was just really happy for you, honestly, as well at the end. I was like, you know what? I love Kim. She's awesome and so
Aw.
happy for
Is
you.
it?
If it
I
was going to
I
be anybody to win her first against me, I was like,
I
okay.
I feel like we do share something like I used to get a lot of questions about people saying, "Oh, do you think you're too nice to win?" and all those kind of things. And I can honestly say, like when I see or saw an opponent hold up a trophy, for me there was a moment like, oh, nice, like and
Yeah,
happy for them. Like it hurts, but you still can like
yeah,
feel their joy for it, right? Like
yeah,
and I don't know. I don't
exactly.
think there's a lot of players who are able to do that.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
you
but
understand the feeling. So, yeah.
you, if I remember correctly, you made the final of the French that year as well, right?
So that was 2005. So I made the finals of Roland Garros,
Yeah,
finals of US Open, and finals
of
of
the
the
WTA finals.
championships.
Yeah,
Yeah, the finals. Yeah, at the end of
yeah.
the year. And then won a couple of tournaments in between that in San Diego and Moscow, I think it was. So that was really like one of my best years ever. Like 2005 from Roland Garros on, like I only lost 4 matches for like the rest of that year. So I was playing really well, feeling great.
Talking about Roland Garros, like, as a tennis player, but also a tennis fan, like seeing you win there as a French player and knowing, what I know now and seeing a lot of the French players struggle to play their best on their home court. What was that like for you? Like, did it help for you that you were living out of the country and that you were kind of a little bit away from that media attention? Because, we all know, like, coming from some of the European countries with a huge tennis history, that can sometimes be very overwhelming. And what was that like for you? Like, did you feel that helped?
Yeah, it's interesting because I moved to France when I was 13. Didn't really speak a lot of French at all at that time, so I had to learn to speak French. But I have a lot of family there. And growing up in France, I, watched Roland Garros with my dad. That was like the tournament that he would always say to me, like, this is the one that you want to play, and this is the one that you want to win. And so that became the dream. The dream was, because I was, representing France playing Fed Cup, which is now Billie Jean King Cup and Olympics. And so the dream was to play Roland Garros. And then the
Because your mom was French, right?
Yes, so
Yeah.
my mom is from Paris, and so when we moved to France at 13, French Federation allowed us to come and train there, and my dad basically just said, you're going to play for France, your mother's country, because I could have played for America, where my dad is from, or I could have played for Canada, where I was born, but my dad said, you're going to play for France. So being a French athlete playing Roland Garros is like the ultimate. And I think if you come from Australia, France, England, or America, you have such a special opportunity whenever you play your home Grand Slam because it's the biggest tournaments of the year. You have the crowd behind you. And, for me, it was very special at 15 years old when I played my first Roland Garros. It was like, oh my gosh, I made it. I'm here. And then I was like, okay, now the dream is to win it. And you don't know if it's ever going to happen or not, but you work hard for it. And it was very difficult to play there because you just felt all the pressure and all the stress and all the expectation of the whole country basically riding on your shoulders. As you said, it's a big, tennis was probably like number two in France behind football, soccer. And so it's a big deal, in the whole country. Like even people that don't know tennis or watch tennis, they're watching Roland Garros on TV like every year. And so it's a big deal. And so I felt a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And so I understood why it's so difficult as a French player to play your best tennis at Roland Garros with all the media attention and just everything going on. And It's interesting because when I became a Christian at 25, which was in March of 2000, how I changed and how my outlook on tennis changed and just on life in general. And so for me, from that point forward regarding my tennis, it was like, oh wow, like all the stress and all the pressure is off because like I'm not in control of my results. If I was, then I'd win every match 0-0 and never lose a point, but that's not the case. So I just knew I only can control my effort, my attitude. And so I'm going to give 100% in everything I do in my training and my preparation. And when I get out on the court to play my matches, I'm going to fight for every single point until the last one. And I'm going to have fun and enjoy every moment. And then my result is in God's hands. And that just took a tremendous amount of pressure off of me. And I was able to play, so much more free and so much more relaxed with less stress. And so when I went in 3 months later to play Roland Garros, I went in completely different. And even the journalists were asking me, questions after my matches. They're like, oh, you look so different. You look more calm and more peaceful, more serene. You're not getting mad in like certain points and during important moments in the match. And have you done like some mental training? And I said, no, not really. No, I haven't done any mental training. And like, well, what have you done? Like, there's something different like about you when you're on the court. And I was like, I don't know, just, God's in control and I'm just doing my best. And so it just really helped me to just play a lot more free. And that year, was the year that I won. So it was pretty amazing.
Singles and doubles, Mary.
Yes.
Yes, and then I've always played doubles. And I think, Kim, I don't know about you, but like when we played, I felt like like most of the players were playing singles and doubles every week. And that was just what we did. And I mean, I love doubles. I thought it was a great opportunity to work on my serve, my return, my net game, etc. And it was fun. I just loved being on the court with like another player and it was like my friend. And so I just did that, played singles and doubles, and I loved mixed doubles as well at the Grand Slams. And, when I look back now, I think, oh my gosh, like playing a Grand Slam, especially Roland Garros on clay, where the matches are tougher and longer, and then doing also in doubles, like it was crazy. Like, yeah, but I didn't even know if I was going to play Roland Garros that year, like 3 weeks before I had a shoulder injury and I was able to play. And then, the doubles finals, I woke up and my knee hurt so bad I could barely walk. I couldn't even warm up for the match. So I told Martina Hingis I was playing with, I was like, look, it's going to be all right. Like, you just have to run for everything. I'll hit everything as hard as I can and we'll just kind of see what happens. So, but yeah, I mean, that was just amazing to be able to win the singles and the doubles the same year. I mean, it's a dream come true.
Yeah. Can I add one more thing to what you did that year? Maybe one of the most iconic shots ever in women's tennis in the quarterfinals against Monica Seles. The shot, the front-facing tweener lob.
Yes.
The entire point was incredible. And I know you've been asked to walk people through this before, but can you just take us through that shot? How was that even a reaction that you had in the moment?
Yeah, that was wild and amazing. Monica, like such a fierce opponent and competitor and tough to play. And so she was in control of that point and she was making me run side to side. And I knew that Monica was going to hit, side to side. And so I was like running and running. And then all of a sudden I was on the run and the court was open to the other side. And I'm just like, okay, I know she's going to hit it over there. So I just started running as fast as I could to the other side. And all of a sudden, the ball is like right on top of me. And I was just like, it was instinct. Like I didn't even think nothing. Like it was just right there. And that was really the only thing that I could do because it was right on top of me. Otherwise, it was going to hit me. So I just jumped and hit it between my legs. And I didn't know what was going to happen, if it was going to go in or what. And I was even like shocked and surprised and very happy that it actually went in for a lob winner, which I think Monica also just because she just like let it go and it went in. And I was just like, wow, that was amazing. And, it was a shot that I would kind of do in practice, like, just for fun, sometimes warming up. If a ball would come like straight at me, I'd hit it between my legs forward facing the net. So it was just a fun kind of thing. It's not like I never did that shot before, but I never did it in a match before. I don't know if I ever did it again after that. But I was never able to do like the tweener, when your back is towards the net. Like I just was never able to do that one. I was always do the front one. So I should probably like trademark that or something. I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
I looked back and I saw the video of it and I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know like I could jump that high. That's crazy. So that was a pretty athletic shot. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
That was incredible. It has to be kind of, you talking about like your first moments on a tennis court and being super, like just seeing the ball well and your timing, like there has to be something in your brain instinctively that came back there, like full kind of moment of, your
Yeah.
first tennis lesson. And I think they pushed you up to like play with the better kids and things like that. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
incredible.
It's like day one, they showed me how to hold the racket and they like hand tossed it to me and the other kids would like swing and kind of like whiff the ball. They wouldn't hit it and like they tossed it to me and I just hit it and I just went over the net and the court and it's just wild. It's been
Yeah.
like that since day one.
Your technique has always been so like flawless, like
Thank you.
almost nothing can go wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's like it was such a simple like it worked, like it was just always. So did was that something that came naturally, or did people like at the French Federation work a lot on your technique, or your dad or your brother, or was that kind of just naturally instinct for you?
Yeah, so great question. I would say obviously the beginning part of my game for the first 8 years was my dad, who was really amazing. When I look back and like think about what he did, um, the abuse aside, just taking like the pure tennis coaching that he did is really incredible for someone who's never played the game, who doesn't know the game. But he became a student of the game and watched every single professional tennis match that was on TV, men or women. He got the tennis magazine every month. He got the tennis books from all the best tennis coaches around the world, and he studied them. He highlighted them. He underlined them with it, if it was technique, if it was drills, exercises to do. And then we would just go out and do it. And believe me, there's like this 10,000 hour rule or something like that. I don't know at what age I hit 10,000 hours. If I was like 12 years old, I don't know. But it was like on the weekends, it was baskets and baskets and baskets and baskets. Like that was one thing that my dad just made me do was repetition, 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 the same shot over and over and over, to get the technique perfect and just to keep doing it every single time over and over every time so that it becomes second nature. So that after later, when you get into those situations, when it's the pressure moments and the most important moments to play your best, like you've done it so much, it's just muscle memory, as my dad would say. So I would, pretty much those first 4 years. And then after that, working on it like with other coaches, and worked on my serve a lot, my volleys a lot, because those were some of the things that my dad, like, he didn't really teach me volleys. That was one of the things. He had to get other coaches to teach me volleys and slice and drop shots and things like that. And then my brother came along as my coach, twice in 2000 and 2005, two of my best years. And I really wish he could have coached me pretty much my whole career, but he didn't enjoy being on the tour. He didn't enjoy that lifestyle. So it was really a sacrifice for him when he did travel with me and coach me. So I'm super grateful for those 2 years that he gave of his life to travel with me and to be my coach. I wish it would have been every year. But we had such a great time and I had just amazing results with him. And he helped me a lot with my game, and incorporate new shots into my game, actually, and to help me win Roland Garros.
And now you can help him by babysitting the kids.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and
Can you
giving him
pick
some
up?
time
Can you
off.
drop off? Can you? Exactly, for sure. Yeah, now I'm taking my nephew on the baseball field for hours and doing drills with him, and because he's playing baseball and he loves it, and it's fun. I get to spend time with him and do that kind of stuff. My niece, she's into gymnastics. She's a competitive gymnast, and they're both like, amazing athletes. She's a great athlete, so it's really fun to see them doing that.
That's so cool. Well, Kim, I know Kim loves to pick someone's brain, so I do not want to cut that short. Do you have I was going to move on to our rapid fire questions, but should you have any more technical mental questions, please go for it.
I can keep asking, and I'm sure when we are done with our conversation, my brain will keep going. And Well, I'm sure. I hope we can have maybe some time to chat when we get together for Roger and Mary Carrillo's
Yeah.
induction in Newport, where Blair will be there as well. So maybe
Yes.
we can all grab a coffee together or something like that.
Yeah, I would love that. I'm really, really looking forward to being there for the induction this year. And it's always an honor for me to be there. And it still is very mind-blowing and humbling to me to think, oh my gosh, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Like that just surpasses any dreams that I've ever had of my career to be recognized in that way. And so it's an honor to be there this year. I'm so excited for Roger's induction. He's amazing. I love him. I'm such a fan of Roger, and also Mary Carrillo. She did so much broadcasting and commentating when I was playing, and I loved, in times when she would come and see me on my practice court, like sometimes before a match and I'm warming up, she's like, so how you feeling today? Because she's going to commentate my match and we'd have a chat. And I remember she would come to me sometimes, and afterwards, one time she came to me, yeah, like I've coined your game and your tennis. I'm calling it Big Babe Tennis,
You were the first one, Mary? You were the origin of Big Babe Tennis?
Ask Mary Carrillo.
Okay.
I don't want to say yes and take credit for it. Maybe she made me feel that way, but maybe I wasn't. I don't know. We'd have to ask her. But yeah, so I'm excited to be there, and it's going to be really special. It's always very special, and I'm excited to see you guys too, and have some time together. I look forward to it.
Same.
Thanks.
All right, Mary, should we finish with some rapid fire questions for you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Yes.
They're
easy.
We actually have no rules here, so I use the term rapid fire loosely. Okay. First one, what is the best tennis advice you've ever received?
So the best tennis advice I've ever received was, I would just say, just give 100%, have no regrets.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote on the wall in Sweden.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
No regrets. That's all I wrote, though.
That is the best.
They asked me if you could write a message to your younger self, and it was all posted. So it was like, Spanish, French, like everybody had different. And that was mine, was like no regrets. Like, be all in what you decide to do, and have no regrets at the end. That's what my dad always told me. He's like, make sure you have no regrets when you leave the sport.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what really motivated me toward the middle and end of my career, was really like, let's just be the best that I can be. That's my competition, Okay,
Right.
yes, I'm playing a match against other people when I get on the court, but actually it's me. It's like, how good can I get? What's the best that I can be? Let's just see where that takes me. And that was my motivation. That was my drive.
I feel like that is something that comes with getting older. We were both very young, right, when we went pro, and so a lot of times it's like you have to learn to think that way, because a lot of time for many years your opponent is your opponent until you start to realize that it's your own thoughts and your whatever you can be in control of, and so that's the good part about getting older, right? Is
I agree, because I think one of the worst things would be to look back and gosh, well, what if I tried 100%? What if I did this? What if, you don't want to have what ifs. You just want to give it your all and see where that takes you.
Do you have a favorite, like a memory? Like it can be on court, it can be off court, it can be a match that you remember when you were younger, or like anything, like a favorite memory that you have that you'll always kind of treasure. Like,
I mean, it's definitely winning Roland Garros and being able to share that. My mom was there in the stands. My French family was there, my aunts, uncles, cousins, my brother being my coach. I mean, for me, achieving the ultimate goal and dream in my career with my brother as my coach, I think, that's just the best.
Okay, Mary, you are also a style icon in my book. You had some amazing looks on court. So did you have favorite tennis look, favorite dress, favorite outfit?
Oh, yes. I loved wearing Nike. I loved being with Nike because it was so much fun to get to design the dresses. And I took a lot of inspiration from Ted Tingling, Chris Evert, Tracy Austin, and just all of the dress styles at that time. Gosh, I have to pick one. I would say I have two, if I can be honest.
Yeah, we have no rules
I have a lot.
You can have two.
I mean, obviously, my Roland Garros dress that I won the year that I won in 2000, that was like named the Black Cocktail dress. So that was one of my favorites because I thought it was just really elegant and chic, but just sporty and super comfortable. There's one other that I wore too, at Roland Garros one year as well. It was a little bit more risque, if we could say. It had like the top was like a body kind of suit with like straps, tank top kind of look. And the bottom was more of like I don't know, like a ballerina kind of skirt in a way, if that's right. And it was kind of sheer, a little see-through. It was, yeah, that was a pretty fun one to wear.
I always loved your hair, Mary. You have still
Thank you.
amazing, beautiful hair, thick hair.
And
Like
you
I
too.
remember the big braid. Like it was
Yeah.
just such a thick braid, and then the
Yes.
hairband, and yeah, just
Yes.
always loved. And then even when you have like you've had your hair short for a
Yes.
bit too, right? Like just
I did.
yeah, love like it all works.
Thank you. Thank you. It was fun. It was fun.
Is there a favorite tennis player that you like to watch right now?
I enjoy watching. Okay, so again, I have a couple, but I'll say first Arena Sabalenka just because I love her game. She's aggressive, fearless, hard hitting, and I love that, she's improved so much mentally, and she's also improved her serve tremendously as well. So those two areas she's improved a lot. And but I just love how she just wears her emotions on her sleeve, and she just is so passionate and lives it with all of her heart. And I just love watching that. So yeah, I'd say Arena.
All right. What's the most used app on your phone?
Probably WhatsApp.
Yeah. With 27 jobs, I would imagine that
Probably
WhatsApp is
That's
important.
my way of communication. It's the best. Yeah.
Your favorite vacation spot?
Ooh, I like this one. Um, wow. Okay. So far, the Maldives is pretty much up there because it's just so amazingly beautiful. I was going to stay one week. I ended up staying two. And one of my favorite vacations actually that I had was one year I rented a sailboat with a skipper, and with my family, my mom, my brother, and some friends, we basically lived on the sailboat for 10 days and we went around the island of Corsica.
Mm.
And that was amazing. Like to just fall asleep, seeing the stars out at sea and wake up with the sunrise and be able to fish and then eat it and then swim in the ocean and just, yeah, it was amazing. Like I think that was probably one of my favorites as well.
Oh, fun. Okay. And last for you, Mary, we are foodies on this podcast. So give us your favorite sweet treat and your favorite like salty, savory meal, favorite thing on that side of the tracks.
Man, that is so hard because I'm such a foodie too, and I love to try new things and like discover new things when I'm traveling or going places. However, with my food intolerances, that's changed a lot of things of what I can eat and can't eat. Um, but oh my gosh, that is so hard because I love so many things. So what's my favorite
Favorite sweet treat. Start with that first.
well, since I don't really eat much of that anymore, but I'll have to say in France, there's either like a fondant au chocolat or moelleux, so it's like a chocolate cake that's hot, and when you cut it open, it's like
Oh yeah, like a molten
some
chocolate cake.
like
That's what we call it
the
here.
chocolate's just like running, like yeah,
with some vanilla ice cream or
yes,
something.
probably.
Sounds
I
right.
just yeah, because I love chocolate, so I'd have to go with that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I won't put you through the exercise of your salty. What I think we've
Oh my
discovered
gosh.
here is that we want to like go on a food tour with Mary
Yes,
Pierce, and you can just introduce
totally.
us to all the new spots we should be going to.
Totally, totally. I love it because I love all cuisines. There isn't like one that I like more than any other. It just kind of depends what I'm in the mood for. So, and sometimes I go through phases.
I can relate.
Same.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess it's called being female, or
Yeah. Just loving food. Some people
yes.
like
Yeah.
that, and it's just like I just love to discover like the different flavors from different countries. And I remember when I went to India on a trip, and I love Indian food as well, and it was just so spicy. Like my stomach was on fire. And I can handle like probably like a medium level of spice in America terms. And so I was there with the local Indian people, and I was just like, man, this is just too spicy. I can't, like my stomach can't handle it. And he's like, okay, well, just tell them no spice. And I was like, okay, cool. So the waiter would come and I would order my food and then I would tell him no spice. And like every single time they just would look at me like so like disappointed. They were like, no spice? And I was like, yeah, yeah, no spice. And he's like, are you sure, madam? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, because they're like spice out, they're all about the spice, right? And they would bring it to me, and it was just the perfect spicy level for me. I was like, it still had some spiciness to it, but yeah, I mean, if it's Japanese or Mexican or Italian or even like there's African food that I love, Latin food, like so there's a lot of really yummy things.
Mm.
For sure.
Do you cook too, or?
Yeah, I do. I cook. I can. I learned from my mom because she loves to cook and she's an amazing cook. And so I grew up, with my mom in the kitchen and just learning how to cook, from her. So, yeah, it's fun when you get to go like to the market and just choose like fresh seasonal things and like see what the ingredients are and just like come up with a recipe. And I like trying new recipes all the time. And yeah, it's fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary.
You're welcome. I've seen you cooking on your videos, Kim. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Kim likes
Yeah.
to too.
I'm enjoying it again. I've been
Yeah.
away out of my kitchen for a couple of months actually, so I'm really enjoying being in my own kitchen and
Being
taking
back.
the time to cook while the kids are still home from school. So
Yeah.
and not feeling like pressured or stressed by timing and schedule and all that.
Right. Right. Nothing
But
like a home cooked meal.
it is, and but I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time, and
Oh,
I absolutely love talking to you, and hope we
thank
can
you.
continue the conversation in person, and look forward to giving you a big hug when we get to Newport.
Thank you, Kim. Same. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you for having me. It's just, I really loved our time together and I really loved our conversation. So thank you so much again for the invitation. It's been awesome being with you guys. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you and giving you a big hug in person. So thanks, Kim.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Claire.
Thanks,
Bye.
Mary.
God bless you
Bye.
guys. Bye.
What a conversation that was. I feel like we had good laughs, a couple of tears, and yeah, just incredible to see. Every player has such a different story, and although we play the same sport and we learn, the same technique and the same tactics, but everybody has a different story. And I think Mary's story is one that has been filled with a lot of pain, and but really, really nice to hear that she's been able to kind of forgive her father and have some good moments with him before he ended up passing away, and then to share all the things that she was sharing. Just very impressed by her, and it's like I learned it's like I knew a lot of things about her, but I learned so much more through this conversation, so loved it.
Same. And we've got, I guess, shifting gears, Cincinnati to talk about, Kim. There are a few different storylines. We're obviously not going to go over all the results because it's all still happening thanks to 12-day 1,000 events. But of course, we want to talk about Venus and Serena taking the court together in Cincinnati. They played Marta Kostyuk, Peyton Stearns, lost in a match tiebreak. Did you get to watch some of that, Kim? And what were your takeaways?
I did get to watch some of it, and it was really exciting to see both of them walk out together. I don't know, it just brings back so many memories from back in the day, I feel like, and just seeing how, the stadium was completely packed, the support that was there, listening to Marta Kostyuk, her on-court interview afterwards as well, like how, honored that like she felt. And so it's nice to see a generation of players who maybe haven't played singles matches against Venus or Serena, but then get the opportunity now to play doubles against them is really nice. And I feel like I had that opportunity to play against Martina Navratilova in doubles. So it's a great story, and really nice to see Serena healthy after the knee injury that she that happened during Wimbledon. So to see her kind of sticking through with her schedule and rehabbing, because that has to be hard, right? When have been training for a while and you're focused on getting getting those enough matches under your belt. And it's unfortunate they ended up losing in such a close super like third set tiebreak. But because you want to have the matches, you want to see like, how does my body react when I play 2-3 matches in a row, and just to get used to that kind of the hand-eye coordination, the reactions, like everything just, you don't practice that, right? Like the matches bring something different. And so it's unfortunate that they weren't able to win, but really, so many positive things about seeing them both compete at a high level in the doubles draw.
And can you talk about, Kim, the challenges of doubles when you haven't played much tennis or many matches, certainly not at the tour level? Because I think people are like, oh, great, they're playing doubles in terms of the fitness, that's easier. Well, yes, but in terms of the reaction time, it's probably more difficult in some ways.
Well, reaction, and I feel also precision, right? Like your return has to be, very much like to the open side of the court. You have that net player across the net from you. So I feel like you have to, like you said, you have to read the ball quicker. You have to anticipate a little bit quicker when you're at the net. So it is a very different game than the singles game. And I'm sure they've been practicing together, and they have very good hitting partners on their teams that they can play doubles against. And but it's definitely a lot harder than what people may think, and especially when you haven't played for a while. And it's tough to kind of read your opponent's volleys and just when to poach and all those kind of things. Like it just makes it a little bit more tricky. And like I said before, that's why if you play 1 or 2 matches in a row, like that second match, third match potentially, like you'll feel so much more comfortable and assertive and out on the court. So just unfortunate that it wasn't able to happen here, and that I don't know what their schedule is for the next few weeks, but are they planning on playing together at the US Open?
Unclear.
We haven't heard anything
yet.
Okay.
One would assume that is the goal, but I have long stopped trying to predict what Venus and Serena are going to decide to do, because it's generally a losing proposition.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So.
But yeah, I hope so too. And it will just, again, like if that's going to be the next match, like there's going to be a few weeks in between, and so it just gets harder as you get older. Like your body doesn't need too many matches, but your system does, right? Your hand-eye coordination, your reaction, like everything, you do need matches to kind of get, just a little better in general, and to play matches again. And so it's finding that right balance, and so we'll see if. What will happen, but it was really nice to see them, and it looked like they enjoyed it very much as well, to be back out there, and that's what it's all about.
Good stuff. And Kim, the world #1 ranking on the women's side does potentially hang in the balance in Cincinnati. Aryna Sabalenka currently leads Elena Rybakina by 474 points in the live rankings. To get to #1, Rybakina, who was a semifinalist there last year, has to reach the final, and Aryna needs to lose her next match. She plays Wang Jinyu next as of the time of this recording. Or Rybakina needs to win the tournament, and Sabalenka needs to lose before the final. So just wanted to give you all a little update on that. They don't want to be asked about it. That is the takeaway that I have gotten, and anyone who's on the media side of things, they're like, stop talking about this. But do you think it's in the back of their minds?
Maybe a little bit, but not as much as I think we all think it will be. I think because when you're a player, you just focus on what's next. Is it the recovery? Is it my match, my next practice? Is it the massage? Is it what's coming, like the next match, my opponent? And that's what you just always try to think about and not jump too far ahead. And so usually the media keeps reminding you. So, and that's something that we have to do, as a tennis player after every press conference, after every match, you have to do your press conference and you talk to the media. So you get reminded about it a lot. But I don't think, I don't think the players are, at least not yet, right? It can still jump by the end of the year. But it is very interesting. And I feel like it makes it so much more fun to kind of keep an eye on all the matches, the tournaments that are happening, like who has to defend which points in which tournaments. And so towards the end of the year, I do feel like it becomes very exciting to keep an eye on that.
Another big headline that came out of Cincinnati was Novak Djokovic's loss in his opening match to friend of the pod. I don't know that that's actually true, but in my mind it is. Thiago Tirante, my cult favorite. I actually got a chance to be courtside for this match because I was on the ground working for Sky UK. We were doing the post-match interview with whoever ended up winning that match. And we did not know if Djokovic was going to retire early in the second set. So the first set was sort of business as usual. Tirante told us at the end that he had some nerves going out there against Novak in set number 1. And then they played this marathon. It was like a 7-deuce service game for Djokovic, I believe, early in the second set. And then it was very clear that he was experiencing some sort of distress, had a medical timeout. Again, something you don't see a lot from Novak, particularly in sort of the latter part of his career. I mean, and it was brutal. It was maybe, I don't know, around 90 degrees, and it was probably 90% humidity. And I was dressed in professional clothing and was like fully soaked, which is not a feeling I recommend. So the conditions were uncomfortable for sure. Djokovic said after he lost the match 6-4 in the third that he was experiencing some sort of underlying issue that is exacerbated by nerves, by heat, by humidity. We don't know what that issue is. He said he's been struggling with it for the past couple of years. But having watched that match and seen him in that kind of distress, what were your takeaways, Kim?
Yeah, it's, I think, a little bit similar to like the Venus and Serena situation. Is you have to, get into the groove of playing matches again. And it's, for Novak as well, it's like, okay, I need to take enough time off to recover physically, mentally, kind of, take time away from the sport. But then also, knowing that the US Open is coming up, like you want to start playing those matches and being pushed into, playing a tough match in the heat with an underlying issue. Like it's a lot of stressors on the body right away. And do I think he's worried about it? I don't think so. But, it is something to keep an eye on. And I don't think that, knowing what Novak has been able to do in the past, like he will be fine when it comes to the US Open and will be able to kind of work his way into the tournament and play good tennis there. And, so it's all very interesting. I love like kind of this part of the year. And it's even when I was playing, I feel like you could really tell players that were kind of physically and like mentally checked out because it was a long season and they kind of feel like, oh, the end finish line is in sight. And, like some players don't have the, the power anymore to keep pushing through, and which definitely Novak will have. But I enjoyed like looking at players and seeing little things, like little signs of like, oh, not being as committed as they maybe were throughout the year. But it's an interesting time and one of my favorite times of the year to be a tennis player.
And I just had a couple of other quick notes, Kim, from my time spent with the players during media day and in post-match interviews that I would love to share with you if that's okay.
Please, yes.
Okay, so first of all, one of the players that I talked to who I really had to think hard about how to approach during media day was Amanda Anisimova, because she has not looked her happiest on the court. As of this recording, she had a great win over Alex Yala. But I started my questions by saying, Amanda, we are 8.5 months into a really long season. What is something that is bringing you joy right now? Like allowing her to talk about something positive in her life. And her answer is, I'm just really loving competing. Which I don't know why that tickled me so much, because I asked the whole question because I did not want her to have to talk about what was actually happening on the court. Well, joke's on me. She is loving competing, said that after having, believe it was a wrist injury earlier and not being able to compete, she's just happy to be back out on a match court. So I was like, you know what? I thought I was being real smart there, but turns out not so much.
There you go.
So that made me chuckle. Daniil Medvedev, being a Cincinnati Reds fan, have you seen all this Reds content?
Yes.
Hilarious and the most Daniil Medvedev thing ever. He apparently liked playing baseball on PlayStation, and so he sort of knew the rules. And in Cincinnati, he was explaining it to me. He's like, in New York, it's so busy, it's so hard to like get to a Mets game or a Yankees game, but like here, I have the time and it's not far away. So he last year, I think, went to his first game and is now like a Reds super fan. He threw out the first pitch. He got to meet his idol. He's like, I just got to meet my idol, who I wish I knew which player he was shaking hands with. I'm not sure which one it is. Apologies to any Reds fans out there, but it's just so random and bizarre, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he's hilarious anyway, so really happy for him that he's enjoying himself off the court here in America.
Okay, Arthur Feast remains one of our Arthur Feast.
Arthur.
Yes, thank you. Remains one of the most charismatic people I've ever met in my life. I checked in with his driver's license saga, which he still does not have, and he starts like just spitting out profanities, like at least 2. And then he like settles himself and he said, well, I'm going to say a bad word. And I said, Arthur, you have already said multiple bad words. We've already crossed that bridge. Anyway, so he still does not have his driver's license yet, in case you were wondering.
Because he never got it, or it got taken away from him?
No, he has not gotten his license.
Okay.
Yes. So apparently
I think he has one of the most, how do you say, like laugh that is very contagious. Like when he starts laughing, it's like, it's so, contagious. Like
he is so, just a great interview. Quick one on Ben Shelton, who lost his opening match, sat down with me again, it was, maybe a little over 24 hours after he had won in Montreal. And we're sort of making small talk off the top before the cameras are rolling. And I said, how are you? I said, are you tired? And he's like, no, actually, I feel great. And I was like, oh, he's going to run the table. He's going to win the Montreal Cincy Devil.
You jinxed it.
Well, I 100%. I think it was a good example of how tennis is so brutal in that way, because you can feel one way, have the complete opposite happen, or you can feel terrible and have a great week. Like there's no predicting, there's no rhyme or reason, right?
No, not at all. And again, like players across the net from you, when you've had a good result, they're always a little bit more focused, maybe believe in their chances because they know that you're traveling, that you haven't had much rest. And so there's, it can trigger that side on the other side of the net as well. So, but he's had some really good results that he can build on and that he can take with him to the US Open. And I don't think he's too worried about the loss.
Loved getting a chance to talk to Linda Noskova a little bit more because, again, she's a player. I think I'd only done maybe one post-match interview with her before her Wimbledon win. And she was just so refreshingly honest when I was asking her about, how do you reset? And she said, honestly, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. Like I literally accomplished my dream. And she said, I was more motivated prior to Wimbledon than I feel right now. And I was like, that's so honest. I feel like just most players spit out the, you just get back on the horse and one day at a time and one ball. But I just thought that was so great and honest. And she came in, she's got her signature nose ring and she's like also wearing a pearl necklace and pearl earrings. Which I thought was the greatest combination of jewelry. Like, girl, you just mix it up. Keep them guessing. And then in her post-match interview, she finished her first match at maybe like 5 in the afternoon or 5 in the evening. And I said, what's recovery look like? Are you going to watch your opponents play tonight at 7 p.m.? She's like, I never watch my opponents. I think I'm going to go ride the roller coasters. It's like, sure.
Yeah, which is great. in Cincinnati.
You can walk right next door and do that at
Yes.
Kings Island. So, just so really neat to get to know her more and see more of her personality and just see that she was honest about something that I think a lot of players would be sort of like clams about. So
Yeah, but I also think very recognizable because I remember when I beat Mary in 2005, like afterwards, like it's great and you kind of get off that high and then it's like, oh, like you have to get motivated again because for the longest time, like I tried to achieve that goal and then you're like, now what? You know, and it's not like I went like how Roger and Rafa and all and Serena, like all those, like how they do is like, okay, like now I win one and I want to win another one. That to me came later. It wasn't right after. So it's nice to hear that she's comfortable enough to share, you know, those feelings.
Yeah. Kim, do you have a recommendation for us this week?
I do have a recommendation.
So excited.
Yeah, it's I traveled with it to Sweden already because it gets at this time of the year it gets light a lot earlier. But it is my absolute favorite now with that I'm still a little bit jet lagged. It's my silk sleeping mask that I travel with. And I absolutely love it. My husband,
Velcros
not so much,
behind you?
probably.
She's out.
Here she goes. It's the mouth tape. It's the eye mask.
How's your morning shed going, Kim?
And the earplugs probably too. So he calls me Mrs. Potato Head. So this is how I go to bed, and then I put the mouth tape on.
It's so sexy, Kim.
Thank you. But it's amazing, and it makes me sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. It's like my body knows that it's then time to wind down. So I love it. This one is from the brand Door and Rose. I don't know if you can see it. Door and Rose.
I am a sleep mask enthusiast.
Yeah,
and I have not seen a silk one with like the little nose hole.
Yeah, it's really good. The silk is great. So that is my recommendation for today.
I love that. Well, mine is also utilitarian this week. It is a new purchase for me prior to the US Open. It is my ultrasonic cleaner machine I used it for jewelry, but you can use it for like glasses, watches, retainers. And I was skeptical because I'm like, ultrasonic, what does that even mean? This one's from Kunphy, by the way. It was off Amazon, Kunphy. But I put all my jewelry in it. The water that came out of this thing afterward, totally disturbing. But it was so great because I had previously had like a little like brush that I used, which was incredibly time consuming, but you can just dump all your jewelry in. So
great.
If anybody was wondering if an ultrasonic jewelry cleaner actually works, I can confirm that this one that was like, I don't know, maybe $25 on Amazon does in fact clean your jewelry and or your glasses or retainers or watches or whatever. So there you go.
Great. Good one. Do you travel with it?
No. I think probably what I do is just do it before a job, get it all dirty again, and then do it when I come home. But can I just really quickly, we have 2 quick shout outs, Kim, and I know we're running out of time here, but shout out number 1, I wish I got your name, but to the fan in Cincinnati who was there with his son, who came up to me and said, "We love the podcast. And also, here's my shark chill pilf and that I bought after you recommended it." on an episode of Love All a few weeks ago. Thank you so much. That made my day. And we love that you love Rec Room.
Great.
And then what's our other shout out, Kim? Are we shouting out Mary?
Of course.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what? Did I forget something? No, of course. A huge shout out
Another Mary.
Oh, yes. Sorry. My mother-in-law, Mary Lynch, she's a big fan of the show. And unfortunately, a few years ago, she got diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but she's a big fan of the show. And my father-in-law puts it on TV. And so I would just want to say hi to Mary, my mother-in-law, and she's a good friend of mine. So we just want to say hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Thank you for listening and watching. And thanks to all of you for listening and watching. And we hope you like and subscribe at Love All Podcast on YouTube, socials, all the things, and leave us your comments, questions, and we'll be back next Wednesday with another episode.